Yes, there we go. If anybody has any struggle in getting into new environments, please type D12. If you type D12 George Brown login, you're gonna see something similar to this. If you click on sign in, then it's going to bring you to a login space, and then please enter your username and password, and then you're going to see something similar to this, right? Whenever you are done and you have success, please let me know. Done? Hey there. So the section that we have is this 193, right? So click on it, and then you see the first thing that you're gonna see would be the announcements. We already have 3 announcements. So the first one is welcome. The second one is telling you that good news. We have assignment number 1, right? It's already there. Don't worry. We have enough time till tomorrow night. You can upload it. Okay. So that's the first thing that we need to do. And it's going to take something like 2 hours. I'm going to talk about it in no time. And then there are some occasions that happened that web server is down. So as an alternative, you can have this Telegram group. You can simply see what is happening there. I'm going to post most of the things that we have over there too. You need to click on that and you're going to be there. The good thing about Telegram is you can communicate with your friends and you don't need to give up your contact. You can just have something like a username. It's not like WhatsApp. It's like email. The other thing is, let's just stay here for a couple of seconds. If you click on the content, I have already provided 2 folders. One of them is the general info, and the other one is the basics. In general info, if you see, I have a README file, so it is pretty similar to what I have provided here. So in the general info, you see we have README. So as you can see, welcome. Did I say welcome? So welcome to new semester, everybody. And then what? Then introduction. So I think that just a few friends who came a little bit later, they didn't introduce themselves. We have time for that. So after that, I said, let's talk about myself. We're going to talk about Reza too. And this is the PowerPoint that you see here. Reza, your coach. I'll forget about these parts. They're just telling you what I did. But this is my George Brown email address. And if you want to send me a message through Telegram, you can search at Dr. Reza Divaj. And the last thing is, yes, this is the GB Data Science Group. apart from it, I provided a few resources for you guys, like there are tons of, let me just click here. There are tons of resources for free PDFs. And once in a while they close one and people are gonna open 100 instant. So don't worry, you just need to say b-ok.cc alternative, and it's gonna show you tons of alternative websites. The other thing is how to work with Google Colab. This is a short video for that. We are gonna use, for most of the course, we are gonna use Google Colab, but for the first chapter, I'm gonna tell you what we are gonna do next week. So that's not today's concern. The other thing is how to install Anaconda or PyCharm. I highly suggest first watch a video. Sometimes it happens to me, undoing the process of installation is that much cumbersome that sometimes end up installing the Windows all over again. I highly recommend that you watch the video before you install PyCharm or Anaconda. And is it me? The other thing is how we are gonna assess ourselves in the current semester. We have lecture quizzes, and you know that except midterm and final, that we need to come to the campus. For the rest of them, they are online. So Mondays, we have 1 hour of lecture, right? And it's online. So 100 some friends participate simultaneously. I'm going to set up 11 quizzes, and I pick top 8 out of that. That makes sense. So imagine that I miss 1 or 2, or I do not get the desired score we want. Don't worry, still you have 8 bullets to use, right? The same thing for lab exercises. You're going to define 11 lab exercises, but I'm gonna pick top 8 out of 11. We will have 4 individual assignments. So sometimes I interchangeably say a lab exercise assignments. Please just don't get confused. For instance, what we need to do for today, for tonight, is the lab exercise, right? And for assignments, we have 4 assignments. Why is it to be announced later? The reason for that is I want to make sure we will cover the content, and then I'm gonna announce the assignment. And I assure you that 2 weeks ahead of time, you're gonna get the days for the assignment, for the assignment. Does that make sense? Okay. We will have 1 project, which could be a team project. It could be a team of 1, 2, 3, maximum 5 people. Okay. We will have midterm, final, and something that I haven't mentioned here. I'm gonna print the list of our team members. And the reason for that is, in some colleges, I applied this and it drastically impacts people's participation, not physical participation, actively involved in the content. We will have 10% bonus. There were some people, they got 10% bonus during the semester. Okay, how does it work? If you answer 1 question, it's gonna be 0.25. Imagine that you answer 6 different questions in a session. It's gonna be 1.5. Does that make sense? Okay. I pretty much said everything. You don't need to buy anything for this course. You have the resources, the libraries, and there are 2 the versions of the ebook. The first one is a plain version. Am I audible? The second one is the highlighted version. And the highlighted version, I do not recommend you start with this one. Use your own highlight version. And then just for the midterm or for the quiz or exam, use my version as a kind of review. Okay, so they can quickly get to the important points. And the last one is one of our team members in previous years. He helped me a lot to provide some review slides for Python. So they can see the Satish review slides over there if you need to review the previous content. So by saying that, we are done with the first part, and now we go to week number 01. Okay. Please download this file, and there we go. As a sort of exceptional session, we will finish something like 20 minutes earlier. But the thing is, I steal your break time in the middle. Well, technically, I don't give any. Well, we just collect all those breaks, put them at the end. During the session, we have some videos to watch together. Because you have the link, if you need to go outside and come back, feel free whenever you want. So you're not gonna miss anything. Okay, I do like, before I continue, ask our newcomer friends to introduce yourself and say, what is your favorite topic? Java, JavaScript, HTML, SQL, or what?
Sorry. Indian yoga mostly that are players. Some of you guys are like continuing work. And
What's your name, sir, by the way? Kenjo. Okay, nice. Glad to see you. Okay, no new. Okay, you. Awesome, great. I think that you said it before. Yeah, nice. Yes. Yes. Hello. Good. Okay, great. How about you? Nice. What is your favorite topic? Java? Python. See, many people. Hey, what? Yes.
My name is Julian. I'm probably over to the house.
Excellent. Lovely. And you don't have any newcomer? Don't think so. Okay. Let's start with this one. A challenge. I want you in a group of 2 or 3. Tell me, what do you understand from this image? What is this force? Data science. Data science contains artificial intelligence, generally, deep learning, and a lot more. I'm not very much familiar, but we are going to discover together what are the content. But okay, what do you see here? Guys, this is the time that you need to talk. Now, talk to your team members. after 2 minutes of discussion. There comes on. You can join, so you can join this music group. Very good. Yeah, exactly. Those friends that they. That happens. Do something good, you can turn back, that means that have a guy, you get this, you talk. But you know what? I just want to. Okay. Sir. All right. What's your name, sir? Oh, nice. And what is your favorite subject? That is the interview that we had with us.
Oh, maybe.
JavaScript. No. Database, lovely. So we have a group of experts. Anyone interested in different topics? Okay, guys. Do you see this? I don't want to say it in that extreme, but I don't know if you watched that clip that said generation of smart devices and young people. That is cynical, actually. I don't like it. But this one tries to say that we have lots of zombies that they are into their families. And I didn't like that, but actually I became one of them. Now you have to, let me just say, where's that? Put it away. And it's not a new thing. Intentionally, I want to show you a few seconds of a masterpiece. Hopefully next week, I'm gonna give the bonus mark for the one who can guess. Let me just close this. Tell me what this masterpiece is and the year of it. Give me a. The reason that I wanted not to show you the answer. Okie I found it. Just give me a second, sorry. That's amazing. Okay. Be careful of the sound, sorry. Do you see just this few frames again? I very much love this. Do you know what? Because this movie almost 9 years ago, 18 years ago. Do you know what is this one? Charlie Chaplin? Exactly correct. One bonus mark. Because yes. Why? But shame on you. But look at this part. A person 80, 90 years ago predicted what is going to happen, and many of them are pretty close to what we have nowadays. Okay. Look at this one that he wants to have a little break. We didn't have surveillance camera back then, but he predicted. And another thing is, let's just. Okay, what do you see here? And we are going to get back to the picture that we started. He became a part of machine, dissolved inside the system. Pretty close like us, whether we want it or not, this way or another. And now look at it again. Right? So we can be cynical saying that everything about this part is crazy. We should be against it. Or we look at it as, we could use it in a positive. I can talk about this simple picture for hours, like talking about small Ferraris and the prediction of the new form of dictatorship using technology to predict what your idea is and to engineer your opinions the way that the governments want. And a lot. But let's stop it there and think about the positive parts. Imagine that we have limited sensors, right? We can just sense the atmosphere that we are living in. But you cannot say, now I guess 20 meters outside here, the temperature is 25 or -10. But you can simply use your phone checking the temperature of outside, right? So can we say these guys are the extension of our brains? We can look at it that way. So they try to overcome the limitations then. What are the AI inventions that recently you heard a lot about? What? Sorry. Okay. I heard that ChatGPT, right? Yeah. There was one cartoon that said the man with a smile. Hey, everything that I do at work, ChatGPT can help and do. The same does the same thing. And then this next photo was the same man was like, uh-oh, everything that I do, ChatGPT can do it the same way. And now we have a huge number of decisions. Why? Because now we have some technology that we can do programming. And the whole idea of this course is this. What would be our future? Just a developer, ChatGPT can do that. If you want to be the master of it, whether you want it or not, you need to take this one serious. It's like for flying, you need 2 wings, knowledge of programming and data science. That's the future. If it was 3-4 years ago, I could say that, okay, guys, it's not a bad idea. There are markets for learning and just applying this knowledge. But right now, I say that this is mandatory. No matter if you go to game programming, cybersecurity, anywhere that you go, you need to carry this knowledge. Well, we already talked about this. Technically, Python is not that much great language in terms of performance because it is compiler based or interpreter. I forgot it. Can you use ChatGPT? Now, you can use it in your exam, so please. Why guess when ChatGPT is there in front of you? Please use it. Maybe because I'm not a professor. Right? Okay. But please. And search and talk to my friend, gentleman over there, and see. And the difference between compiler-based languages and interpreter-based languages. Which one is easier, simpler, needs less hardware requirements? Which one is more professional? Yeah. You can join gentleman over there. Talking about this here, something or something. Just go in your jump the group. Don't worry, I forget the session. Okay. Who wants to be the first? Yes. That was a bad time for a scratching. I thought that now we have yes. The question is, what are the differences between compiler-based and interpreter-based languages? And Python belongs to which category? Interpreter-based, perfect.
The difference is the file generates a file that you say
Executable file.
file is machine code
Nice.
and interpret the software interpreting
Correct me if I'm saying this is you, me, that in compiler-based, we create one, as you said, based on the machine code file, which we call it executable file, right, exec. And then you need to compile it once and run it several times. But for interpreter, whenever you want to go through the code, you have to go line by line every time that you need to get the result out, right?
Yeah, but the way I see it is the software that reads the file and executes while it's reading one language.
So long story short, what I can just imagine to have a simple picture. Compiler base executed all at once and use it several times. Interpreter based line by line, right? Something like this. Whatever you learn from this discussion, share with your friends, please. And now it's time to say Python belongs to, I forgot it. Belongs to, again, I forget. Tell your friends. Python belongs to which category? And Nikita, you can join. Okay, everything is super clear. So Python is an interpreter-based language, and the performance genuinely is not that much weight. So what is the solution? We use libraries that are designed to work with big data. What I'm saying we get a more accurate way is huge data set size, because we can work with big data and normal data. So for the first chapter, we use text-based environments. And for the next one, from NumPy, you're gonna use Jupyter or Google Colab. I prefer Google Colab. We just talk a little bit about Matplotlib. We spent a good amount of time on Pandas, and Pandas helps us to do data engineering. And by saying that means sometimes you have missing fields, missing rows. And how should we treat? Should we just put 0 or null or what? How should we treat those missing values? And we start working with scikit-learn. Actually, that's a kind of hello world for us. And that hello world is going to be, you start with binary decision tree as the simplest, one of the simplest algorithms that we can have in machine learning. These resources, you already have the actual book. I mentioned my, again, I said, guys, don't feel obliged to use Telegram. This is just kind of alternative way if the mail server is down. If you want to have discussion with your friends in a group, including me. We already talked about this. I mentioned in the last line that we could have up to 10%, but don't tell anybody. We had some people that they got over 10%, even more than 10%. Yes. But the thing is, guys, I told you, this is an important subject. It's not something that, okay, with all respect to all the subjects that we have, it's not something that imagine that person doesn't like HTML. And I very much love JavaScript. So I'm just gonna go and pass that, but I'm gonna put all my effort in this subject. Like I said, this is something that we needed, whether you want to be a data scientist. So we could have two approaches. One is, okay, collecting market strategy. This quiz, that submission for the assignments, and well, we can just copy and paste, no mapping. And right now, even you don't need to bother asking your friends. God bless ChatGPT. You have that. But my suggestion is not using it. And there are several reasons. I have one friend, one team member in another college that I could call him a ChatGPT guru. He's a master in ChatGPT, but he got D capacitors. He didn't have enough, confident that I can solve those problems. And apart from it, I know that in some circumstances you could get a good mark using ChatGPT. What about the interview? You know what I'm saying? So you need to have that confidence. And it is not something that, okay, I'm gonna just read the whole content in the night before the midterm and the night before the final. Is it coming? Technically, my suggestion is make it a kind of routine. What I learned in Canada when I started my education here is gaining that confidence that whatever I want to learn, I can. It's just a matter of how much effort I put in that field. So that is why I provided this quick video, and we are going to just watch the first 2 minutes of it.
Track's built-in knowledge base is, well, it's whatever you want. Do you love your wife? Prove it. Like, what's the metric? Give me the number that helps me know, right? Because when you met her, it doesn't work. Now you have her, right? Tell me the day the love happened. It's an impossible question. But it's not that it doesn't exist, it's that it's much easier to prove over time, right? Leadership is the same thing, it's about transitions. So if you were to go to the gym, like exercise, right? If you go to the gym and you work out, you come back and you look at the difference. Go to the gym the next day, you come back, you look at the mirror, we'll see. So clearly there's no results, kind of be measured, it must not be effective. Fundamentally, this is right, what's the action? Stick the relationship. And you should have the reality. So what happens? You do something there, commit yourself to that service. Commit yourself to the regime exercise. You can screw it up. You can eat chocolate cake one day, skip a day or two. No, it allows for that. But if you stick with the consistency, I'm not exactly sure what day, but I know it'll start getting efficient. And the same with the relationship. It's not about the events. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency. You go to the dentist twice a year, your teeth will fall. You have to brush your teeth every day for 2 minutes. What does brushing your day twice a day for 2 minutes do? Nothing. Unless you do it every day, twice a day for 2 minutes. It's consistent. Going to the gym for 9 hours does not get much change. Working out every day for 5 minutes gets you change. So the problem is we treat leadership with intensity. We have a 2-day offsite, we invite a bunch of speakers, we give everybody a certificate. You're a leader, right? Those things are like going to the dentist. They're very important. They're good for reminding us or getting us back on track, learning new lessons. But it's the daily practice, all the monotonous, little boring things like brushing your teeth that matter the most. She didn't fall in love with you because you remember her birthday and bought her flowers. She fell in love with you.
You have the video, so please watch the rest that you come into. So, if you like it. Actually, I applied that strategy. I started learning something new in life, no matter what it is, but I consistently spend time every day, no matter how tired. And for me, it's a kind of promise that I have to myself, more important than anybody else. I can cancel my appointments with other people, but I can't do it with myself. So this is a promise that even, I'm not saying this, I didn't tell that to the other classes, but I want to share it with you. I was just a click away to resign from teaching at all. I was like, that day was a kind of a strange day. I received some heartwarming messages from different team members. I said, okay, still, apparently I have things to do and finish. So I said to myself, as long as I feel that I can be beneficial and helpful, I'm going to continue. So if I cannot gain anything here, I'm not going to do it. And what I gain here is your success. So I came here with that intention. And it's not just saying, just to let you know, I just took 1 hour class. I had lots of things to do, but I said, I have to finish this properly, then I make all the materials for my friends, then I come. And you have no idea, even I cannot easily talk in my native language, let alone English. So you see that I cannot, find the text of words, forgive me for today. Hopefully not happen next week. But what I'm saying is, guys, let's decide to do something together. And that's my intention. One of the things that happened, there's this a girl in my class. When I say girl, she's a mother of 2, and I'm very much proud of her. She knew nothing at the beginning of the semester about computer. 2 semesters ago, we started programming classes together in another college. I was shocked that, is she in the right place? She couldn't even take a screenshot. Can you imagine? Screenshot. That's ABC computer. I never discourage it. That's not me. That's the end of my being who I am if I discourage person. But I had that question, why she's in this field? And she disproved me as best as possible. The previous semester, she started helping me, providing materials, extracurricular materials as motivational tasks. And I was like, wow. And can you imagine, now she's an instructor in one of the colleges, not a famous college, but she is. And 6 months, wow. What her secret was, I had that question. She defined goal and worked within a team. So, okay, guys, let's do it together. Okay, do you have time tomorrow? Are you going to be at school? Okay, how about this? Let's define something. And no matter how crazy the idea is, you're going to change it. You're going to make it mature and ready. And we go gradually towards something implemented. Okay? So I remember the other friend of mine in the other college said, Reza, I want to add eyes and ears to ChatGPT. So I didn't discard that person. So okay, that's a great idea. And you need to know a few things. Do you have time that they coach you to learn those kind of things? And now he's implementing one real project. He does. So all the journeys that we have start on one single step. So find your team members and start defining the project. That's going to stay with you forever. And I'm open if you want to say anything. How can I help you better? How can I coach you better? Please give me suggestions. And now, the thing is, today is a kind of storytelling. Next week is going to be hands-on, very much hands-on, but let's enjoy the stories. General purpose AI. What we learn as machine learning is not general purpose AI. It's not big data, as you see, and it's not cloud computing. But general purpose AI, I have no clue. In a group of 2, 3, please, you can join a friend over there. Yeah, if you like. And search for a few seconds, for a few minutes, and talk to a friend. What is general purpose AI? Another keywords, early AI. Early AI. Okay, time for me to learn from you guys. If you have anything to share, please raise your hand and let me know. Okay. So anyone, I heard some discussion, some useful discussion. So do you want to share what you said?
What I found was, AI, example, we're going to be like customer support
Customer support, What is the nature of the general purpose AI? Is it something that we can use, for instance, one project for several problems? Can you do me a favor, please? I have no computer. Search how old general purpose AI is. Is it a recent thing or yeah, sorry.
Not really sure about that, but I did find that. While developing it, they had intended purposes for the AI, also unintended purposes, and
That's great. Who coined it, by the way? Can you search it for me? Yeah,
the agent.
who just, that never happens, I mean, out of the thin air. One day, all people start, somebody should say, okay, guys, we have intelligence, let's define artificial intelligence versus the real one that we, right? So do you want to add anything?
Yeah, based on reading definition, this artificial general intelligence complex in the past like human, so I like the scandal of customer service. Saves a lot of time. It's like, wait, kind of like search your basic needs, but.
That's great, yeah. Who, by the way, Marco, do you know who was the one who coined this word? Or AI, artificial intelligence, for the first time? Okay. Don't worry, guys, we practice how to connect the dots. We have some words we want just to see how we can, because today we are going to learn lots of words. Yes. John McCarty, actually, that's a very good thing. John McCarty was a genius who talked about a few things, predicted in 1976, he talked about cloud computing without saying cloud computing. He said, one day we are going to use computer as a service, the way that we use telephony, gas, electricity, and water. Like you plug in your table fan and then you start on using it. You plug now your computer, your theme client to a remote server and use that server from Amazon Web Services. He predicted something like 40 years before that happened. And McCarty is one of the guys that had lots of insights about AI, artificial intelligence, but for the first time it was 1956, almost close to the time that we had the first language. The first computer was in 1946. So the history of AI is as old as almost the history of computing. But could we say that the first time that we come up with the artificial intelligence, having robots, was 1956? Yes, no, maybe? Do you think that that idea, that simple wish that one day we are going to make something similar to ourselves is just 70 years old, 80 years old? Yes, no, maybe?
I think like when you invent a car, you can want something to shoot a person around thinking of would be just like Homer's computer, so you do it for themselves.
Beautiful. I like that. You see, I learned things, a lot of things from you guys from your insights. Great. The problem of general AI, or people call it early AI, is it's excel in just one task. Means if you design based on AI, pure AI. If you design an application, you just can play chess. But if you want to switch to an R game, you have to write all the code all over again. You need to rewrite everything. So technically, we need something that means that your data set now is to distinguish between apple and orange. Then you can use it to distinguish different types of cars. Is it possible? Yes. You don't need to touch the algorithm in the code. You just need to change the data active. So in that case, could we say AI was something like this? And part of it is majority, the subsidiary of that. That's enough for now. And let's go to the next part. Big data. Correct me if I'm saying this is big data is a data which is big. True, false. True. Everybody? It's not my data, actually, I'm false. Correct. So if it is not a data which is big, then what is big? I don't know. Search. Just one thing. Type 3D big data. Then type 5D big data. 3D big data. 5D big data. Then type 7D big data. Don't go higher. Because I have seen you. That's oh, okay, so what are those three keys? Oh, sorry.
Volume, velocity,
Volume, velocity,
variability,
variability.
veracity.
Oh, then you get to like veracity and what is veracity? Oh, another word for veracity. Speed, right? What else?
Visualization.
Value is still we are in 5 months. Then value, what is the meaning of value? Means not all the data are valid or correct, right? And visualization. What does it have to do with the concept of the data visualization? What's it mean? Yes.
Picture the data. How can we picture the data? How do you make the solution?
Excellent. We do the process on data to make it information, but to convert the information into knowledge needs something more, and that is visualization. I repeat it. Data is a raw information, right? We do the process, for instance, you calculate the average, and then it's gonna be information. But imagine that you have 1 million lines of information. Is it going to give you any picture? Can you understand that you're gonna get promoted or you know what I'm saying? So for the higher level of management, they need to see if it is increasing or decreasing the trend of it, right? And that happens through visualization. What is the other B? Okay, forget it. We have already 7 weeks. I think that's tomorrow they're gonna add vitamin B and other things into it. But they insisted to use all those weeks to make it easy for them, right? You see, the volume is just one part of the equation. So big data doesn't necessarily mean that a data set which is big. Can we say, Marco, the RBC data set, because it is huge, is a big data? the database is on ARM. Is it a big data? It's not, because it is a structure. So we have two. We have two. There isn't any specific line that you can say, okay, if you cross that line, now you're in the era of NoSQL, or in the other side, you're in the era, in the region of SQL. But the tools that you use for SQL, you can use Oracle, you can use Microsoft SQL, Access, you name it. These. But for NoSQL, you use Hadoop, or you use Spark, and those kind of things. So first, imagine that why we need to have tools for NoSQL. Anyone? Why do we need to use concept of big data? Why do we need to have tools for big data?
Because we need to better graph some data so that we can only go with some kind of data that is required for our program.
Okay, a simple airplane, thank you. A simple airplane in their flight in 24 hours, they generate equal amount of data that Facebook generates the same day. I repeat that. 24 hours of flight, the whole content that is generated in one day in Facebook, that huge. Imagine that, how many sensors do we have? Guys, that is why that one airplane worth hundreds of millions of dollars, right? They have tons of sensors for everything. And the thing is, this sensor generates some data which is totally different with the other sensor. Does that make sense? And if you just want to say, hey, we have one table here, what makes SQL having master-slave relationship? We have a primary key here and we have a foreign key here. Am I right? Yeah. If we want to take care of this one, it takes forever. And for something like airplane, it is super important to decide as fast as possible in the right time. Otherwise, lives perish. That is why I take this field very serious. If anybody thinks that our engineering field is less important than surgeon or doctors, they have to think twice. How many lives perished because of not having skillful engineers? Just go and read the story, the Bridge of Quebec. Sad story in Canada. Anyway, this is the reason that we need something agile, not taking care of the relationship. NoSQL. Are we going to use big data? Yes, but is machine learning equal to big data? No. I think that one is not very much clear. Guys, this side is visible for you? Okay. What is inside that? What is the subsidiary of machine learning? Nicholas, any deep learning. So we have artificial intelligence. A subsidiary of that is machine learning. Subsidiary of that is deep learning. Uh-oh, too much for one day. Don't worry. We're going to repeat that several times. What is the name of this course? I forgot it. Data science. Oh, so I'm in the right class. Awesome. Look. Where is data science? Why should I even just guess? What is the relationship between data science and DL, ML, and AI? Image, Google it. Not ChatGPT this time, because ChatGPT cannot give you anything. Is the red circle correct? Just please confirm it. Okay, so data science is somewhere that touches deep learning, machine learning, AI, but it has more. Like what? Like big data. It is possible to touch statistics. It is possible to have cloud computing, cloud services. Even SQL, spreadsheets. And that is why a person who can call themselves data scientists, they need to know a lot of things. Yes, it makes it the top field, but we should be happy. Otherwise, everybody should be a data scientist. Not everybody dares to go that route, guys. You have that confidence too. That's a good thing. We talk about this more, but do you see where we are standing as a data scientist? Now tell me, what is cloud? You can search. This time ChatGPT. Okay, anybody has any opinion? Cloud. Is it a new branding? Because we had that concept before, right? We called it a similar concept, not exactly. We called it web services, and still Amazon called the services that it offers Amazon Web Services, AWS. They didn't bother to change the name to Amazon Cloud Services, right? What is your opinion? You want to say something?
It's a way of storing data.
Well,
Storing data.
okay.
I
And in this is not my expertise at all. So whatever you say, I'm gonna accept. Please continue.
There's a proof that cloud is just another person's computer, because it is. It's just another company's computer storing your data.
That's not a joke, that's the real fact, actually, yes. And that is sad because you don't have the ownership of your data, right? It's somewhere else. And thanks goodness that Donald Trump didn't know anything about cloud, otherwise we have to give tax for data as well. Because most of the servers that we have is in the United States for the clouds. Yeah, but that's a good point, actually. Yeah, you were saying, storing the data somewhere else computer, right? It is possible to create the data replicated in others' computer. Sure. How many of you use Dropbox? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good ratio. Try to use Dropbox. It's safe. The other thing is, whenever you go somewhere, you don't need to bring all the documents. You can just simply have a duplicate of the data on your phone. You can have 3 duplicates, replicates technically. On your phone, laptop, PC, and your identity. Dropbox is one of the samples of that is cloud service. Storage is one of the cloud services. If you do not have Office on your computer, what are you gonna do? Google Doc, Google Drive, or Google Doc, right? So Google Doc, is it an application that you install on your computer? No, this is something that is somewhere else. You remotely, you can just start typing using your phone. When you get home, you can just continue on your laptop, right? It is somewhere else. That is software as a service. The other example, we have tons of them. Google Slides, Google Spreadsheets, right? And so on. Examples are. But do we have enough flexibility using SAS? Can you write a package site using SAS? Can you write an application with Google Doc? Definitely not, right? Nobody can generate any application using Google Doc. So we have a limitation. What if we want to generate something on the cloud? Can you please search as PaaS platform as a service? Okay. Anyone? Whenever you want to write a desktop application, what is the environment that you use? You can use Eclipse if you want to use Java. You can use Visual Studio if you want to use C#, right? These are ones. What if you want to make something for the cloud? Google Engine. Similar to that. So Google Engine. Example for SAS, Google Doc. Example for PaaS, something like Visual Studio on the cloud, Google Engine. How about infrastructure as a service? This is John McCarty's prediction. Just search? No, that's good. And write those examples, just remember them by example somewhere. Please. Okay. So, do you have any definition for infrastructure as a service? Example, that's awesome.
Amazon Web.
Excellent. Amazon Web Service instances, right? Some of them are free. But very much careful when you want to use them because it happened to me. One student came to me. I thought Cloud API in another department and told me that I was charged $700 because he has forgotten to shut down the service. The good thing is because the concentration, the focus of the company, Amazon, is on other companies, not on individuals. If you just call them and say that I have forgotten and I'm a student, I just wanted to practice, they refund most of the time. But yeah, we have to be careful about this. Infrastructure as a service, it's like you connect to a computer, a server remotely using Wi-Fi or whatever through internet to get to that computer. And it's exactly like, have you ever used TeamViewer? PC Anywhere? Anyway, so you connect to another computer. This monitor would be just an interface. You use the resources out there. Okay. By saying that, we already know about all these things, but I want you to do two things at the moment. First, quickly review of these concepts with your peers. Why emphasize, guys? Remember, when we get to this class today together, we started learning lots of concepts on top of what is AI, what is the difference between AI and machine learning, what are the relationships that these guys have with each other. So which one is subsidiary of what? And if we want to be a data scientist, we need to know a bit of big data concept, the statistics, cloud, SQL, right? Big data is equal to NoSQL. So whatever you learn from that, now share it with your friends. Okay? Yeah. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
You want to talk to our friends, share your opinion, intern group and yeah, so I whatever you learn, share it this way. Everything is manageable to what? Welcome. No worries. Okay, so now the question that I have for you is this. What is the definition of intelligence? And can you imagine in different sections, people said something. I recently started reading philosophy. Oh, not just reading like a magazine. I started focusing on that. And what people said in one of the sections was exactly like they nailed it. It's like, I mean, the gist of the compressed version of all those things that I recently read. So I want you not to use dictionaries or anything. What could be the definition of intelligence? What makes us apparent? An intelligent species on its planet. Solving problems. So are we the only species that they can solve problems? I do agree that we can solve complex problems. Right, but have you seen that tiny small video that a cat uses the fountain? Drink water like human from one of those water fountains. I was like, wow. I saw that chimpanzee uses tablets with the kids, show the kids that, okay, look at this. And you're getting in a kind of dangerous zone here. Anyway, what are the definition of intelligence? Just now, again, continue. Yes, please.
I would say the ability to interpret and understand things, and then make a choice out of it.
Interpret, so it's more based on the brain and thought, right? That's one school of thought. Yes,
But if that we can go beyond our instincts, but like animals, we should operate on basic.
what do we call that? What do we call that beyond instincts?
What is that?
Or what is the name for it? For going beyond? Don't worry, just take your time. We already have one of those school of thoughts. Based on thought and repeat it again for the friends.
To be able to interpret and understand and make a choice out of it.
Okay, based on right?
Applying knowledge.
Knowledge. Close to what he said, but what else? Yes,
And
pattern recognition. So how we can use that mechanism based on what? Based on again thought or something different?
the based on thought or just observation.
Observation of experiments. That's the second school of thought. So we have people that they focus on thought and they make a concept. This is actually the Plato who said, let's consider concept of force, not this is specific or that is specific force, the concept of force, which has 4 legs, tail, and this kind of shape. The concept. And then Aristotle said, okay, my teacher was not that much right. We need to go and experiment this specific force, that specific force, right? What else? And then we have the third school of thought that said we could learn something which is not very much based on our thought or experiment, but our intuition. Different. So we have these 3. Computer can learn at least up to this point that you're talking with each other based on either experiments or logical algorithms, which is like thoughts. When we say artificial intelligence, we address these 2 parts. If it learns from patterns, as you said, it's machine learning. If it learns from thought, it is new. Wow. I know, I can see that. Don't worry, stay tuned. You are gonna discover all of them. Look at this definition. It says the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. Computer starts learning and applying that knowledge. How do we acquire knowledge? Based on analytical mindset that we have and experiment. Right? So exactly, mostly a baby, a 2-year-old baby learns based on experiment. Hey, don't touch it. It's hot. No, I should experiment. But, oh yeah, next time I'm not gonna touch play, right? We understood what artificial intelligence is. We have some examples like ChatGPT and so on. where do you think artificial intelligence stands? You know that computer is divided into software, hardware, software is divided into system software, applications, and so on and so forth. Do you think that it belongs to applications or any of these languages? What do you think? None of them? It should be somewhere. Yes? Okay. Have you ever used ChatGPT? Of course. What a wrong question. I use it, so it's an application, it's already there. But if I say, hey, can you please write a program that receives some columns of statements and then say with this ratio, with this chance, that person could have this disease or not. You need to write a code for it, isn't it? And that code is either high level or super high level using Python. So we can say it flies between these two languages and applications. Both. Right? Answer this question, please. Can you please help me? Yeah. With that question. Python is a compiler language, true or false? Yes? We talked about it, right? You remember it. Excellent. And now it's the time, guys. I'm not gonna pause for anything, but please feel free if you want to leave the class for going outside and come back, feel free. This one is something interesting. Just please be careful of the, I need to do it this way. One quick question. Somebody said the idea of having artificial intelligence goes back to 100 years ago or something, right?
Technology was hard at work on succeeding.
My apologies. That's
Created an intense years who wanted fewer intruders on the island kingdom of Crete. But mortal guards and ordinary weapons wouldn't suffice, so the visionary god devised an indomitable new defender. In the fires of his forge, Hephaestus cast an invention in the shape of a giant man. Made of gleaming bronze, endowed with superhuman strength, and powered by Igor, the lifeblood of the gods, this automaton was unlike anything Hephaestus had forged before. The god named his creation Talos, the first robot. 3 times a day, the bronze guardian marched around the island's perimeter, searching for interlopers. When he identified ships approaching the coast, he hurled massive boulders into their path. If any survivors made it ashore, he would heat his metal body red hot and crush victims to his chest. Talos was intended to fulfill his duties day after day with no variation. But despite his robotic behavior, he possessed an eternal life his victims could scarcely imagine. And soon, the behemoth would encounter a ship of invaders that would test his mettle. But the Drago crew, Jason, Medea, and the Argonauts, were returning from their hard-won quest to retrieve the Golden Fleece. Their adventure had taken many dark turns, and the weary sailors were desperate to rest in the safe harbor. They had heard tales of Crete's invulnerable bronze colossus and made for a sheltered cove. But before they could even drop anchor, Talos spotted them. While the Argonauts cowered and approached the awesome automaton, the sorcerer Medea spotted a glinting bolt on the robot's ankle and devised a clever gambit. Medea offered Talus a bargain. She claimed that she could make Talus immortal in exchange for removing the bolt. Medea's promise resonated deep within his core, unaware of his own mechanical nature and human enough to long for eternal life. Talus agreed. While Medea muttered incantations, Jason removed the bolt. As Medea suspected, the bolt was a weak point in Hephaestus' design. The eye core flowed out of molten lead, draining Talus of his power source. The robot collapsed in a thunderous crash, and the Argonauts were free to travel home. This story, first recorded in roughly 700 BCE, raises some familiar anxieties about artificial.
Can you imagine? 700 BC. So that's the first time, at least, that we have recorded that people had that wish. So the next video is about Alan Turing. Imitation, the Imitation Game. Anybody watched it? No? Just one? Unfortunately, we do not have time. Otherwise, I would ask as the assignment number 2, watch that and bring a brief summary. That's an amazing movie. But let's see, what is Turing test?
Pioneers of science, Alan Turing comes up a lot in sci-fi culture and discussions about encountering robots. But what exactly is the Turing test? What does it mean in the computer path? Alan Turing first described what we call the Turing test in the 1950 paper. Turing wanted to answer the question, can machines think? To get to the bottom of this, he devised a hypothetical test. Imagine a game with 3 players. One player, the interrogator, is isolated from the other 2 players, one of whom is human and one of whom is a computer.
This guy should chat and see and understand which one's computer, which one's real. That's a simple version of it.
The interrogator's job is to try and figure out which is the human and which is the computer by asking questions of both. To make things harder, the computer is trying to make the interrogator guess wrongly. In other words, it's trying to be as indistinguishable from the human as possible. If more often than not, the interrogator is unable to determine computer from human, then hey, maybe we're dealing with a thinking computer. Attempts to build computers that can talk to humans have revealed some fascinating challenges. For instance, it's hard to make a computer that's good at telling jokes. The Turing test isn't a perfect test of robot intelligence. For example, it encourages trickery. One recent attempt involved a program pretending to be a young boy whose English was his first language, conveniently covering up any linguistic slips. The Turing test also doesn't account for non-human intelligence. Some of the smartest computers around today have no chance of pretending to be a person, and that doesn't make the advances in AI that they represent any less impressive. So just because a computer looks like it's passed the Turing test doesn't mean we have to bow down to our robot ideals just yet.
Okay, you have started facing this those kind of robot systems. They became very much close to our natural language, right? Like you have used Virgin Mobile, maybe. Hi. That's how they start on greeting and so on. And you ask questions and they can answer up to a certain point, like RBC and so on. Do you think that if we just have a physical body for them as well, we can see something similar to this pretty soon?
Two weeks
Not this
or by the test because it's massive scope, the functionality and
To start with, what should I call you?
absolutely. Then you what's your name?
Oh, John. My name is John.
Delighted to meet you, John.
Could you tell us a little about yourself and what you can do, Chloe?
Of course, I'm the first personal assistant built by Cyberlight. I take care of most everyday tasks like cooking, housework, or managing your appointments, for example.
And I understand you're the first android to pass the Turing test. Could you tell us a little more about that?
Really didn't do much, I just spoke with a few humans, see if they could tell the difference between me and a real person. It was a really interesting experience.
But this is the first time in history that man has created a machine more intelligent than himself. I gather your brain can perform several billion operations per second. Is that right?
Absolutely, but I only exist thanks to the intelligence of the humans who designed me. But it's something I could never have.
Really? And what's that?
What do you think she's gonna reply? Sorry? What is emotion? What is feelings? Sad feeling. What is sad feeling? If you have something in your memory, right? And you get back to that and you feel down, so you feel sad, right? Connecting those patterns together and define something. I guess emotion is not that much hard for computers to mimic. That's my understanding. Even pain. What is the meaning of pain? Some pulses to your brain, right? Say, hey, don't feel good because we alarm you, something is happening, right? We can do similar things. This is fabricated, right? But it is funny.
A soul.
Come on, a spiritual robot. So, what do you think about this picture? How far we are from this? Where are we at the moment? Number 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty close to almost.
The second last one. I saw a post this girl that I love with chat box.
Sorry?
I think the second last one. But I saw a post, this girl telling love with the chat box.
Chatbot.
Yeah.
Why can't laugh at that? It actually shows that how people, the more advanced we become, the more isolated. And that is why we find something somewhere else. Okay, you can communicate at least with that poor chatbots. We sure that there is no intention behind it. It's not gonna harm us, not attack us. So good. We got all the possibilities for that. Is it possible that in 10, 20, 30 years from now, we wake up one day and see that, uh-oh, your hostages in the hands of robots, and they say, guys, you know what? You use lots of energy consumption is super high, the performance is dismal. So I think that for the economy, as well as for the system, it's better not to have you. I'd love to say no as well. But I learned from engineering part of my, we shouldn't be very much sure about it. We are creating something which is intelligent, and it's going to develop itself by itself. Is it possible to get to a point that one day, how many of you read the book Sapiens, Noah Harari? That's an amazing book. It says that before we didn't have algorithm, we didn't have the data to mimic the brain of people. Right now we have the algorithms, we have the data set of people, and we can manage and engineer people's behavior without awareness of them. you told me at the beginning of the class. So. Let's briefly go to this one. I just want to have questions, not answers for you guys. Brief history of AI, 1950s, I already told you. These laws of robotics, it says a robot should not injure a human. It says that should obey the order of human and shouldn't hurt themselves unless that each of them contradicts the previous one, right? But it's not complete. Isaac Asimov said that long ago. This is when 1956, when the word AI was coined for the first time. That was the question that they asked you guys, if you remember. And AI already experienced 3 winters. One of them was not that much long ago. It was a time that we had something they called expert systems. Because of high quality hardware requirements, they put it aside. It was not economical to use them. But we have seen this high graph for many things. Have you ever heard the story of a person who bought some slices of pizza and Bitcoin? I think that everybody heard that. So now every slice of pizza worth millions of dollars, right? And that is why, guys, everybody run to become one of those rich people. But this is the time that happens. You expect many things from a simple invention, and you get to this place. After that, people start realizing what is the normal approach. You have it for smartphones, you have it for crypto, you have it for any technology. Okay, these two, unfortunately for the second one, we don't have enough time. I just quickly go through some part of it.
Ever wondered how Google translates an entire web page to a different language in a matter of seconds?
How many of you used Google Translate 6-7 years ago? 6-7 years ago. How was it back then? For me, it was horrible. The experience of that. Right now, I really can depend on it. It works pretty fine.
Includes images based on their location. All of this is a product of deep learning.
Before that, they used machine learning algorithms. Right now, for translation, they use deep learning.
But what exactly is deep learning? Deep learning is a subset of machine learning, which in turn is a subset of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a technique that enables machines to mimic human behavior. Machine learning is a technique to achieve AI through algorithms trained with data. And finally, deep learning is a type of machine learning inspired by the structure of the human brain. In terms of deep learning, this structure is called an artificial neural network.
So we have some layers here. These are the inputs sensors or activations. These are the outputs. For instance, imagine that we have a picture. We're going to talk about how we put the picture inside of it. And we want to say if it is cat or dog, as simple as that. Okay? And these layers that you see in the middle, we call them hidden layers. If there's one layer, we call it shallow learning. If it is 2 or more, we call it deep learning. And you're not talking about just 2, 3, sometimes we have hundreds of layers. And the idea of having this concept goes back to 1970s, but we didn't have proper hardware to implement it.
Understand
one quick question. You see the brain and you see the deep learning. Do you think that true false? Deep learning was inspired and got the copy of the model of the brain. True, false? Sorry? So deep learning, we call it convolutional neural nets. Because of the name, you can guess. It has come from the structure of the brain. True or false? Almost everybody says true, but the answer is false. And look at this. This gentleman repeats that mistake.
Deep learning better, and how it's different from machine learning. Say we create a machine that can differentiate between tomatoes and cherries. If done using machine learning, we'd have to tell the machine the features based on which the two can be differentiated. These features could be the size and the type of spin on them. With deep learning, on the other hand, the features are picked out by the neural network without human intervention. Of course, that kind of independence comes at the cost of having a much higher volume of data to train our machine. Now, let's dive into the working of neural networks. Here, we have 3 students. Each of them write down the digit 9 on a piece of paper. Notably, they don't all write it identically.
What I want you to do in your group, please imagine that we have a piece of paper. Definitely, if I write that, everybody can guess what the number is. Everybody, without exception, will say, hey, Reza, it is 3, no doubt. But how computer can understand it? Because it's not possible to say, okay, now just bring it in the center of the image and then do what? I have no clue. Talk to your neighbors. Don't worry, the only wrong answer is the one that you keep it here. Just say it. And then gradually we are going to find the correct answer. Please start. Analyze those numbers. Ruler, something, how we can Okay, what is the answer? Don't look at me that way, I don't know as well. So, what is your answer? Sorry? Pattern recognition. Good guess. So, for instance, you say, isn't it beautiful? Actually, that was the first attempt that happened to. The actual data set is called MNIST, and it goes back to 1980s. That the United States Post Office wanted to recognize the handwritten digit postal code to recognize which number is what. And they started that project, gathering 10,000 scanned 28 by 28 pixel digits, 28 by 28 pixels. Okay, and if you multiply these 2 numbers, it is 784. What's the use of that multiplication? Let me show you something. How about this? Let's forget about all the other. And imagine that it is 28 by 28, something like this. Have you ever seen those shredder machines? It's going to shred it into these pieces, right? So imagine that this is the first one. This is the second one. This is the third one. So I'm gonna just bring this one. Do we have any pixel here? Of that shape? Do we have any pixel of 3 there? Yes or no? Obvious, no. So it's gonna be 0, 0, 0, all the way 0. We are done with that. How about this one? We bring this one here. All of them are zeros. I don't take the time. 4, 5, okay, in 4, look at this one. In 4, we have 0, 0, 0. Just in one place, we have that pixel, which let's say it is 1, and the rest are zeros as well. For this one, we have more pixels or stronger pixel. And then we have another one here. So for this one, we have something like 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. For this specific column 5. You got this one? So we have that column and we fit our neural networks with that zeros and ones. And do you think what could be the output? Guys, this is not a trick question. What is the output that you expect? You expect 3, right? But what are the potential possibilities of the output? What are the potential possibilities? It could be either 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. That was the problem. We give a picture and we expect it says that it is 3. Right? Do you think right off the bat it's going to tell, hey, it is 3? I have no clue about that part. Now you know how we fit the input and what we expect. And I told you that it's not going to give you a correct answer in the first attempt. So how could we deviate towards correct answer? Again, talk to your friend, and then I'm going to show you a quick video after that. But please now think about it. I'm sorry, that happens a lot. My apologies. Okay, can I have your attention for a few seconds? Do you see that 28 by 28? 784? Look at this one.
4 neurons. Each one of these holds a number that represents the grayscale value of the corresponding.
Well, I simplified it. It says 0 and 1, but it could be something in the middle, right? A grayscale.
Pixels, ranging from 0 for black pixels up to 1 for white pixels. This number inside the neuron is called its activation. The image you might have in mind here is that each neuron is lit up when its activation is at high number. So all of these 784 neurons make up the
Look at this one.
first layer of our network.
Did you see that? Let's just see it again.
Notice that each neuron is lit up when its activation is at high number. So all of these 784 neurons make up the first layer of our network.
Isn't it beautiful? So look at this one.
The last layer, this has 10 different.
Okay, we have those links between the input layers and output layers using those intermediary hidden layers. What if those links, we call them weights and biases? Do you think that they assign the values based on calculations initially? Yes or no? Random numbers. But those random numbers are gonna give you not a proper answer, then you are gonna start changing, tweaking, and then it says, it's like saying good dog, bad dog. It's gonna correct its movements.
Each representing one of the digits. The activation key in these neurons, again, some number that's between 0 and 1, represents how much the system thinks that a given image corresponds with a given digit.
This part is the content of next semester. So now we know where we are standing. We'll learn Python. We are going towards deep learning, but we need to pass this bridge, learning a little bit of machine learning and some tools to get ready for the next semester. So by saying that, these are some examples we already talked. If you buy something from Amazon, it's going to recommend lots of things that, hey, people who bought this, they checked or bought these kind of items, right? Or the customer support that whenever you want to chat, say, okay, before I connect you to a live agent, how can I count or something like this? For self-driving cars, they use deep learning. Actually, they combine deep learning and reinforcement learning and medical care. There's a story behind this part. We're gonna talk about it later, but the next thing is I provided something funny for those who like cartoons. You can just slide number 20. Read this one, machine learning. So I think that downtown to Brampton is enough for finishing this. In a very plain, simple definition, it talks about machine learning. The other thing is, okay, now assignment number 1, which we are going to start working on it tonight, and we're going to finish it tonight. We have tomorrow as well. So the idea is, for most of the assignments, is you finish it right after the session. Mostly we do something in a class, we just upload those contents. But for this one, I thought it is fun to watch this video. But before getting to that video, let me ask you, how many of you, sensation game, I talked about it. DC is kind of old. We talked about modern time, Charles Chaplin. And The Great Dictator has nothing to do with AI, but it's a nice movie by Charles Chaplin as well. Have you watched Hair? Yeah, that's a nice movie. Who's the actor? I've forgotten. Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix. I very much like 2 actors. One of them, and the other one is The Matrix. Keanu Reeves. Yeah, those 2. Amazing. So, Mr. Nobody watched it? Yes? No? Nobody watched Mr. Nobody? Okay, watch it. And Machina is a kind of very simple, but this one, I think most of you have watched it. I think, Zoe, you said that, and Nikita said feeling emotions. One of you said emotions, the other one said feeling, right? I want to refer to this video. Part of matrix. Oopsie.
This. Our loading program. You can load anything from clothing. Weapons. Training simulator. Anything. Now, is it really so hard to believe? Your clothes are different, the clothes in your arms and head are gone. Your hair has changed. Your appearance now is what we call residual self-image. It's the mental projection of digital self. What is real? How can you define real? If you're talking about what you can perceive, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by the brain.
Wow. So, artificial intelligence or real intelligence. But this one, guys, do you know which country is the pioneer in AI? Sorry? Actually, you're right. Canada. This is one of the few stuff that we export to United States, not the other way around. Please don't do that.
This fall breaks out in Canada. I'm reminded of all the beauty, innocence, and God-free fun available from our neighbors to the north.
Is this familiar? So,
It's something. See the man they call the godfather of modern artificial intelligence.
oh, unfortunately, it's ruined. Guys, this gentleman, Jeffrey Hinton, he's less than 10 kilometers away from us now. Prof, University of Toronto, the father of deep learning. And we have another father of one part of AI. I'm not going to tell you that's reinforcement learning, and he is in Canada as well. So the other thing is, actually, I'm not a fan of young, well, relatively young Jeffrey Hinton. So this gentleman talked even to Justin Trudeau. So you can see, I'm saying that I'm not very much fan of Trudeau, but he's knowledgeable when he talked about artificial intelligence. It was like, wow. So he knows something. Anyway, the questions that they asked are right summary of the clip, 51 minutes. Enjoy watching it, but if you know the questions, you can easily write answers. So 5 points that you like about it. Just take those points. According to the video, which country is one of the AI superpowers for playing games? I'm not going to tell you, but it starts with C. Who could not sit down at the computer desk for 10 for 10 years and read the other questions aloud. Sorry, only for a sec. This is 416. Okay, I'm not sure how many, but at least before. Again, the field is, I will not see it. Okay, who is the father of reinforcement learning? Find it, and after watching this video, if you want to apply for PR or citizenship, well, you could look at it differently. You can be proud of being Canadian. So I hope that it's gonna encourage you to fast forward the steps. The next thing is, we already talked about them. Machine learning, deep learning, data science, and the relationship between them. And we saw this. Guys, I know that you know it, but don't you mind if you please talk to your neighbor once again about this graph? Review it. What are the other parts that we didn't mention here? You can use either ChatGPT or the whiteboard that you have on the other side. Feel free to use either of them. What are the things that we do not have in artificial intelligence, but we have? You want to explain? Just repeat with your friend, please. Everything is fine? 100%? Okay. So let's see the question. Please spend a few minutes with your team members explaining a few applications of machine learning in real life. Have you ever used machine learning in your daily life? Yes, no, maybe. Let's say either machine learning or deep learning. Totally you're fine. Have you ever used any of them? Face recognition. What else? Guys, do you see that, for instance, we use as the extension of our brain weather prediction, or you see the temperature, right? Without any need to go outside, so we can just check it on your phone. Yeah. What are the other things? You write, and the computer tries to predict what could be the next words, right? And you press just tab. Or translation, and so on. Okay, guys, what is data science? In minute number 4, you are going to look at data science differently. I think that I can sell it to you in minute number 4. Let's see.
Asking about data science, so you tell me how does it really work and the data scientist. Let's see how the daily life and understand just working on the design project? Well, it is very important to understand the business working project. In a meeting with clients, Emma asks relevant questions, understands and defines objectives and problem that needs to be done.
So first step is what? Understanding the problem statement. First step.
She's a curious soul who asks a lot of advice. One of the many traits of a good data scientist. Now, she gears up for data acquisition to gather and scrape data from multiple sources like web servers, logs, databases, APIs, and online repositories. It seems like finding the right data takes both time and effort. After the data is gathered, comes data preparation. This step involves data cleaning and data transformation. Data cleaning is the most time-consuming process after the work.
For this part, for instance, imagine that we have a column that we have some cells with the data inside, and for the rest, we don't have. What should we do? We should just leave them the way that they are, or we should insert 0 in the null cells. Which one do you prefer? 0, average, maximum, minimum, or what? It's not an easy question to answer, because what if 0 has specific meaning there? How about assigning -99, for example, if there is no meaning for it? I remember that I once, when I was a student at TMU, I went to a company, the name was Adastra, and one subsidiary of that company, they bought that entire company, and the task of that company was data engineering, making data ready for the rest of the operations that they want. So it's not an easy task.
Having very complex scenarios. Here, Emma deals with inconsistent data types, misspelled attributes, missing values, duplicate values, and whatnot. Then, in data transformation, she modifies the data based on defined mapping rules. In a project, ETL tools like Talent and Mathematica are used for complex transformations that helps the team to understand the data structure better. And understanding what you actually can do with your data is very crucial. For that, Emma does exploratory data analysis. With the help of EDA, she defines and refines the selection of the variables that will be used in the model development. What if Emma skips this step? She might end up choosing the wrong variables, which will produce an inaccurate model. Thus, exploratory data analysis becomes the most important.
Have you ever seen the ads that they say you need to have 3 years, 4 years of experience for being a data scientist? There isn't exactly this step to know which algorithm works the best for this type of problem. I needed to teach C# and data science using C#, which was a kind of a strange thing for me. But the beautiful part is I didn't know C# had this ability that it goes through different algorithms, changes the parameters, and picks the best for you. That is something that I never saw on any other languages.
She proceeds to the core activity of the data science project, which is data modeling. She repetitively applies advanced machine learning techniques like KNN, decision tree, knife base to the data to identify.
These are the names of different algorithms: KNN, K nearest neighbors, random forest, decision tree, binary decision tree, neural nets, artificial neural nets, convolutional neural nets, naive Bayes, and a lot more.
Define the model that best fits the business requirements. She trains the models on the training data sets and tests them to select the best performing model. And it prefers Python for modeling data. However, this can also be done using R and SAS. Well, the trickiest part is not yet over: visualization and communication.
One question: do you think that visualization is that important? Yes or no? Do you think it is important? Just please wait for a couple of seconds, we are gonna see why it isn't.
Emma meets the clients again to complete business findings in a simple and effective manner to convince the stakeholders. She uses tools like Tableau, Power BI, and QuickView that can help her in creating powerful reports and dashboards. And finally, she deploys and maintains the model. She tests the collective model in a pre-production environment before deploying it in the production environment, which is the best practice, right? After successfully deployment, she uses reports and dashboards to get real-time analytics. Further, she also monitors and maintains the project's performance. Well, that's how Emma completes the data science project. Seeing the daily routine of a data scientist is a whole lot of fun, has a lot of interesting aspects, and comes with its own share of challenges. Now, let's see how data science is changing the world. Data science techniques along with genomic data provides a deeper understanding of genetic issues in reaction to particular drugs and diseases. Logistic companies like DHL, FedEx have to cover the best routes to ship, the best time to deliver, the best mode of transport to choose, thus leading to cost efficiency. With data science, it is possible to not only predict employee attrition, but to also understand key variables that influence employee behavior. Also, the airline companies can now easily predict flight delay and notify the passengers beforehand to enhance their travel experience. Well, if you're wondering, there are various roles offered to a data scientist, like data analyst, machine learning engineer, deep learning engineer, data engineer, and of course, data scientist.
Guys, they are either identical or pretty close. So if you want to apply, don't hesitate to apply for any of these titles.
Median base salaries of the data scientists can range from $95,000 to $165,000.
Not that bad, right?
That was about data science. Are you ready to be a data scientist? If yes, let's start today. The world of data needs that.
Still security? Now people start changing their mind. Okay, so let's see the importance of visualization. This gentleman is a phenomenon. He's awesome. His name is Hans Rosling. And one of the quotes that I borrowed from him is, let my data set change your mindset. So let's see if he can do that.
Animating the data in real space with a bit of technical.
Sorry, let's just.
Visualization is right at the heart of my own work too. Ways to both enjoy and understand.
So having data is not enough. People should enjoy and understand.
Now, I'm going to try something I've never done before. Animating the data in real space with a bit of technical assistance from the group. My name is 75, and now an access to them. Income per person, 400, 4,000, and 40,000. So down here is full and safe, and here is rich and healthy. All the countries. Europe, France, Asia, Africa, and the American yellow, and the size of the country bubbles from the size of the population. It's been crowded now, but the very countries were sick and poor, life expectancy were below 40 in more countries. And only the UK and the Netherlands was slightly better off, not much. And now I start the world. Industrial revolution and its countries in Europe and elsewhere move away from us. But the colonized countries in Asia and Africa are stuck down there. And eventually the Western countries get healthier. Now we slow down to show the impact of the First World War
and a Spanish flu epidemic. And now I speed up through the 1920s and the 1930s. And in spite of the Great Depression, Western countries pushed on towards greater wealth and health. Japan and some others tried to follow, but most countries stayed on the. Now, after the tragedies of the Second World War, we stop a bit to look at the world in 1948. 1948 was a great year. The war was over, Sweden topped the medal table at the Winter Olympics, and I was born. But the difference between the countries of the world was wider than ever. United States was in the front, Japan was catching up. Brazil was way behind, Iran was getting a little richer from oil, but still had short lives. And the Asian giants, China, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Indonesia, they were still poor and sick down there. But look what is about to happen. Here we go again. In my lifetime, former colonies gained independence and then finally they thought to get healthier and healthier and healthier. And in the 1970s, then countries in Asia and Latin America catch up to the Western countries. They became the emerging economies. Some in Africa followed. Some Africans were stuck in civil war and others hit by HIV. And now we can see the world today in the most up-to-date statistics. Most people today live in the middle, but there are huge differences at the same time between the best of countries and the worst of countries. And there are also huge inequalities within countries. These bubbles show country averages, but I can split them. Take China, I can split it into provinces. There goes Shanghai. It has the same wealth and health as Italy today. And there is the poor inland province Guizhou, which is like Pakistan. And if I split it further, the rural parts are like Ghana, Africa. Here, despite the enormous disparities today, we have seen 200 years of remarkable progress. That huge historical gap between the West and the rest is now closing. We have become an entirely new converging world. And I see a clear trend into the future with aid, trade, green technology, and peace. It's fully possible that everyone can make it to the healthy, wealthy economy. Well, what you just see in the last few minutes is a story of 200 countries shown over 200 years and beyond. It involves plotting of 120,000 numbers.
120,000 numbers in 4-minute video. Okay, can you please turn on the lights at the end? Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So almost the last thing that I want to say for today is this gentleman, Richard Feynman, said, "What I cannot create, I do not understand." So we already have the content. Just if you go to the rest of the slides, let me just quickly go through, although they are repetitive. We, for this semester, except for chapter 1 of the book that we use text-based environment, we talk about it next session. For the rest, we can use Google Colab, or if anybody wants, Jupyter Anaconda. And a quick review. This one is the one that Python official website suggested for our teach yourself. And yep, this data school, the gentleman is amazing. He has an entire series of data science pandas. I borrowed lots of content from there. So it was for the older version. I made it compatible with the recent version of the code that we have. And this is a game that you can just go and improve your knowledge in Python. And if you want to install Anaconda, I strongly recommend that you please watch some videos before installation. And that's pretty much it. This is Satish. He's an amazing team member that I already uploaded the zip file of the Python files he provided for us. And yes, these are the slides from him. It's pretty much it for today. Guys, I have already stolen 2 breaks. So 20 minutes and the last break, 20 minutes. So now we have, yay, 5 minutes earlier technically. We close it for today, but next week we are going to have on Monday quiz, and you know where to find the quiz, right? Assessment quiz. And for the assignment, I think that I explained everything. So if you have any question, any concern, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you very much. Every week we are gonna have lab exercise submissions and quizzes on Mondays. Thank you.